Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fix your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.
Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet. Today we're out in Tecopa, California, and then we're the drive through the main part of Tecopa so you can see the layout of the town, and we'll kind of point out some interesting things. This town is known for hot springs, and now it's also known for microbreweries. There's 2 microbreweries here in the town with only 60 residents. So anyhow, it's a neat place. Let's get started. Okay, we are on Old Spanish Trail Highway and just coming into Tecopa, California. On the left here there'll be a side street that takes you to the China Ranch Date Farm,
and that's on Furnace Creek Road.
Yeah, that's right here in front of us to the left over there. Turn off and head up to, this is on
Downey Road.
Downey Road. Have an arrow pointing to the cemetery. This is the main residential area of Tecopa that we're turning into. Turn here and we'll head back over to where the cemetery is. This right here is the old Tecopa Cemetery. Not going to find any $500,000 homes here in Tecopa. Most of these homes were built here or put here by miners and have since been abandoned and taken over by other people. There's a few new ones that move in here, but really it's more of a retirement community now than anything else. But it has also become known as a foodie's retreat. They have some really good restaurants here in town. They have 2 breweries, which is pretty impressive considering there's only 60 people that live here. But they do get a lot of tourists through here, and that's where a lot of the restaurants and breweries make their money.
Mobile homes, RVs, and some of these places look like they're just pieced together.
Yeah. This guy right here has a collection of refrigerators on the side of his house.
Yep.
One of the cool things about Tecopa, though, is there is practically no crime here, which is understandable. Because if somebody was to steal something from you, there's only 60 people here in town. It'd be pretty easy to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
Closest real grocery store to Tecopa is in Pahrump, which is probably 35 miles away. Probably about 35 miles away.
Yeah.
Tecopa, I do not believe, has a motel or a hotel. They do have 3 or 4 bed and breakfasts, and the RV parks have cabins for rent. The Tecopa Hot Springs has a few rooms to rent. I think they have 4 or 5 rooms there at the hot spring facility. Right up here on the left is an abandoned RV park. We did a video on this site. If you've seen our channel, I'm sure you've seen that video. Now we're coming into the start of the main part of Tecopa. And then they've got their local faith community church here, which the family that owns the Death Valley Brewing Company actually owns this large piece of land, the big piece of land. It was actually given to one of their ancestors by
Eisenhower.
by President Eisenhower. That was given to him as thanks for his service. And that family donated this portion that we're sitting on right now of the land to the city for this church. There we go. Okay, right up here on the right is the post office.
Which they lease the land from the family.
And then directly in front of us is the Death Valley Brewing Company. Get a little closer, you can see it better. And let me tell you, this brewing company right here, they brew small 20-gallon batches of beer, and their beers are some of the best beers I have ever had. He has, I don't know how he gets all of the sediment out of the beer, but he has a process that just leaves these beers crisp and clean. I mean, they're really, really good. Some of the best beers I've ever had. And once again, right next door to Death Valley Brewing, there's a bakery right here in this shopping center, and then this is Steaks and Beer, which is a restaurant that serves the brewery's beer. And they serve each night they serve like a 5-course meal, and
It's $40 per person.
$40 per person, and their steaks are incredible, and all of the food is incredible. I mean, it is literally the quality of a 5-star restaurant. But you have to make reservations. You have to call in advance, because they only prepare enough food for the reservations that they have each day. Okay, now we'll turn here onto Tecopa Road, Tecopa Hot Springs Road. This is the road that'll take us into the RV resorts and hot spring resorts. The entire drive, once you get out here in the desert, is beautiful. I mean, you've got sand dunes. They look like sand dunes, but they're mountains and hills all around out here, and incredible valleys to look at. You got some of the best sunsets I've ever seen out if you decide to come out here, keep in mind, don't think to yourself that you're going to Palm Springs to a resort, because this is not Palm Springs. This area is very rustic, very old, very historical, and the people want to keep it that way. They don't want a big resort coming in here to town. They like their privacy out here. They do enjoy tourists. Don't get me wrong, but they are fairly private people out here. They really don't want this to become a big area. But there's so much to do out here to just hike and discover, you know, old mines and trails and creeks. Coming into the Tecopa Hot Spring area. Right over here on the right, we've got a RV park. This is the Tecopa Hot Springs Resort. Got a little rock shop right here in front of her. A restaurant here in front of us called the Bistro. This is pretty much what you're going to get out of a restaurant here. It's going to be an older home or something that's been converted into a restaurant. But I've actually found they're really quite romantic, because there's very, very few times that we've been out here when it's been busy. Now this area here, right over here, this building, I'm not sure exactly what that is. It's called the Tecopa Station, but up until about a week ago, there was a drum kit sitting on that patio, so I'm thinking that this may be an area where they play music at night for the people that are staying in the RV park. And now that California's locked down again, they may not be doing that. And then right up here on our right is the fire department. Kind of behind these group of trees, you can see all these old fire trucks sitting here. And on the left is another RV park, still part of the Tecopa Hot Springs RV Resort. And directly in front of us, a little bit to the right, turn in there, this is the Tecopa Hot Springs Resort water source. They have a women's pool inside of there, right inside of this building, this area here. They have a women's pool, a men's pool, and then they have a private pool that you can rent. I believe it's $35 an hour for the private pool. Wonderful waters though. This tends to run a little hot. This one runs about 104 degrees, which for most people is a little hot. It's not too bad if you're used to soaking in hot springs. But you have to remember also, the hotter the water is, the better you're going to feel when you get out. And then directly ahead of us, kind of off on the right, you see a sign there on that building that says brewery. That is the brewery that is attached to Delight's Hot Spring Resort. Delight's Hot Spring Resort is the nicest of all of the hot springs. All of their hot springs are in private rooms. I think it's like $20 a person to soak for the day. Right here in front of us is the brewery.
And they have food too.
They do. They have barbecue. They have good barbecue, we've heard. We have not tried their barbecue, but everybody swears by it. And their beers are good too. But I actually prefer the Death Valley Brewing Company beers over these.
The Delight's hot tubs are really nice. Sometimes they have a masseuse, which I did that once. That was fabulous.
They have trails too.
Yeah, they have trails and
Labyrinths. little buildings over here that we're passing on the right, these are their rental cabins. You can rent these cabins nightly or weekly. And then behind the building that's directly in front of us, the office, is their RV park. Turn around here. Now, from the lights, which we just passed, we'll be heading towards the mud pits, which is a natural hot spring area. And this is the time of year to use the mud pits because during the summertime they have mites that will leave little red marks on your skin. But during the winter time, we hear that they don't have that issue nearly as bad. The next street that we come to up on the right is Furnace Creek. Then right up here in front of us, we're going to see some vehicles coming up that are parked. They're parked in front of the mud pits, which is right out in this area here in the field. It looks like marsh, but when you walk out far enough, there's actually a clearing where there's a pond, and that is a hot spring. Those waters are free to the public. And that basically is your tour of Tecopa. There's not a lot here, but what is here is really fun to enjoy. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the little bell up in the corner for notifications. Please share these videos and check out our Patreon site. Is there anything you want to add, Miss Jan?
Thanks for watching.
Short and simple, huh?
Yeah.
All right, folks, you guys have a nice day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.